This is Lisa Stewart, the curator of the Appalachian Bear Center, Bear Rescue.
Yes.
Lisa, thanks for being with us. Tell us a little bit about Appalachian Bear Rescue.
Appalachian Bear Rescue took its first bear cub in 1996. We were actually chartered as a tax-exempt nonprofit organization to service black bear cubs back in 1990. It took us until 91 to get everything organized, and since 1996, taking our first bear cub, we've serviced 129 since that time. And I feel very honored to be a part of the organization. We're a very small organization with a huge mission. We service the Tennessee bears by Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, admitting them to our facility, and also the National Park Service. But our facility is open to help wildlife entities through the eastern United States. So we take in out-of-state bears as well. When we do that, those bears go back to their home state for wild releases, while we're also focusing on the Tennessee bears when we want to put them back in our national park area, and then also out in the management areas with Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Since that's the icon of the Smoky Mountains, we want to do everything we possibly can to make sure that we service our bears in need.
Lisa, how does a bear qualify to get into the rescue center?
Most of the time we admit cubs in the spring of the year, and that happens when a bear has emerged from a den with its mother, and things happen. Sows can be hit by cars. There can be a very harsh prior winter where they're not getting the food that they need. They may perish in the process. There are a number of reasons that cubs become orphaned. When wildlife officials get the reports about these cubs, then they contact us, tell us what they have at hand, and we admit the cubs and start giving them immediate medical attention, but most importantly, the natural foods that they need to have.
How long do they usually stay there?
Generally, our season starts from the spring, where we take in the small cubs in their own formula, and then by the middle of the year, they're eating solid foods and foraging just like they would in the wild, and then we have them prepared to have fall releases, and sometimes winter releases in our winter times that are not so harsh. When they're mild winters, we can release them as late as December of each year. But typically, we want to take them in April or May and have them out by November.
And what's the capacity? How many bears can you handle?
Well, I don't know how many we could possibly handle. We don't ever turn away a bear. Last year was our record season. We serviced 23 bear cubs, and then we had a strange season beginning in the 2010 year where we serviced almost all yearlings. And the yearlings came to us in a depleted condition because they had suffered a harsh winter last year, not having the natural food that they needed. So we've already had 16 yearlings that we've had into the facility. We've released 15 bears in the last 2 months, and we have 2 on site right now. But we've had a continuous year and a half servicing cubs. Our bear enclosure that services all of these bears, keeping them in a natural setting, has been ravaged by these bears. So even though we have a lull now as far as the numbers in our facility, we are doing the laborious task now to get the bear enclosure back up to par so that we can take in the bears of the fall or the new cubs coming back in the spring.
Do the bears get along pretty good when they're in there, or do you have issues with them? Do they really?
Actually, they get along much better than you and I do, and I think we're doing pretty well. And they forage in that natural facility. They have dens, they have trees to climb, they have pools to swim in, and they interact with each other very well. In fact, I think bears think the more the merrier. So there's very little aggression that you have to worry about with black bears as long as they're with each other.
What are some of the immediate needs that you need for the center?
Well, there again, after servicing so many bears in such a short period of time, our bear enclosure is in many needs of repairs, general things like that, and especially being in the middle of the woods, there's only a few things that we can do, but we want to preserve our natural setting and protect the trees. But the bear enclosure itself requires repairs to the fence, concreting and things like that, down to the pen area where the bears are cared for. We also have several areas when bears come into us needing specific medical attention. There are separate enclosures for them. All of those have to be upgraded and maintained as well. So even when we get to the point by the end of the year where we've got most of our residents out in the wild where they belong, we still have continuous tasks to keep the facility updated and upgraded to be able to take in more and more bears as they need us.
Out of your experience with the bears, what's one of the most unusual things that you've had to deal with?
Every day is an education with bears, and I find that they're much smarter than I'll ever be. But I think probably the most rewarding thing is when you take in a bear that is near death. to find out with the proper and quick medical attention, the expertise of the biologists that find them in the field, and then get them to us where we can work with our technicians and surgeons at University of Tennessee, the College of Veterinary Medicine, to give them all the things that they need and see them bounce back. Bears are tremendously resilient. They're very courageous, and when we can give our resources to them so that they can bounce back from a terrible situation where they've already been orphaned, bears are very rarely abandoned. So we're talking about an orphan situation where they've lost a mother to a car accident or something like that. To know that we can give them the things that they need, all the essentials that they require to be able to not be habituated and go back out as better specimens when we put them back out in their wild habitat. So that's very important to us. Everything is a miracle as far as I'm concerned with the work that we do at Appalachian Bear Rescue, but each day is an exciting event.
Lisa, if there are people out here watching this and they want to help, they want to be a part of it, what should they do?
Please visit our website at www.appalachianbearrescue.org. We have a link on the front page that takes you right to our blog, gives you all the current news, and then a larger site for them to browse through. Also call our office line at area code 865-448-0143, and I'll be glad to talk to everyone that calls. And we have many people that are offering wonderful gatherings from their yard. They have apples and pears and acorns at this time of year, and we can arrange donations and pickups by a phone call. So we appreciate all the help from our great supporters.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And what a rewarding job. That just sounds wonderful. I know that our guests that come to the Smoky Mountains love to see a black bear. And
they certainly do.
What you're doing is great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. This is Lisa Stewart and Charles Williams, and we're going to be talking about a real neat event coming up soon. Charles, Lisa, thanks for being with us.
Happy to be here.
Tell us about this event coming up for the Appalachian Bear Rescue Center.
Well, I'll just hop right in here.
Okay.
We decided that there are too many formal events where people go to fundraisers and don't have a lot of fun.
Amen.
So we're going the opposite direction, and we're going to have a good old mountain hoedown.
Ooh.
We're going to be in Mills Auditorium on October the 16th. We're going to start with a reception, let people have a beverage of their choice and get to know each other. We're going to have a silent auction. Then we will have dinner. We're going to try and keep the speaking and anything that could be conceived as boring to a minimum. And then we're going to go straight into some good old country line dancing and have fun.
A real hoedown.
A real hoedown, and the whole purpose, all of these people have donated items for the auction. Our tickets are $50 per person, and all of that money is going back to the Appalachian Bear Rescue Center.
Charles, what got you interested in the Appalachian Bear Center?
I grew up here. My family got to Cocke County in about 1780. So
the black bear has a very significant meaning.
We have always been here, and when I was a child, my grandparents used to take us on Sundays and drive through the park to see if we could see bears.
So what do you see the main needs for the rescue center are?
There are a lot of repairs that need to be done. I do know that last year was one of the record years, and occasionally I would call Lisa and say, what can we do to help? And we have some really, really generous people in the community. I work with a lot of food distributors because we're in the food service industry, and those guys really helped us a lot and would donate things to help us get through the winter.
What kind of food is given to the bears?
I'm going to let you fill that one. You know much more than I do.
They don't
get
like burgers and
no
fries
burgers,
or,
no fries.
Okay.
We try to keep it natural.
Our mission is to keep bears on their natural diet, so that consists usually of hard mast, which is acorns and hickory nuts. So, of course, Charles is not going to be able to provide that type of thing. So until the fall of the year, we have them on fruits and vegetables that would be similar to something that they would find in the wild. And when we take in very depleted specimens like the yearlings that we service this year, they have to have things like applesauce and yogurts and fresh berries and things that our wonderful Charles can provide for us. It seems like grocery products, but again, it's something that they will find in the wild, so we keep them on a lot of fruits and berries and a few vegetables to help them rebound and get them to a point where they can get their digestive tracts back in order and then feast off of their natural foods later in the year.
Where do you get all the mass crop? How do you accumulate those?
Our wonderful supporters help us every year by running drives at the schools and with the civic organizations where they actually go out in their yards and they get down on hands and knees and pick up acorns. And they make sure that we have drop-offs where we can pick up those nuts. We store them so that bears can have that natural food all through the year, even though for them it's not practical that they could find an acorn in May. So we can keep those in storage containers so that young cubs coming off of formula early in the year, just as they're learning to crack nuts, they'll have the natural food, and we can provide that all year long. So we take these wonderful morsels at the fall of the year and use what we need at that time and then store the rest for the following year.
Charles, how can people go to this or buy tickets, or what do they do? It sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, having an
we
event
certainly
that's gonna
hope
be
that
fun.
it will be. You can call 865-300-7978, or you can also
Go to our website.
go to the website.
Okay.
And I'll let and we will be,
www.appalachianbearrescue.org.
Okay, and Kevin will
Lead
have
you
that up
right
on the screen too.
to what Charles has done for this amazing event.
So how much are tickets?
$50 a person.
$50,
Okay,
and that is everything.
well that sounds great. And it's on the 16th?
On the 16th,
What time?
we're going to open the doors at 6.
6 o'clock. Line dancing?
Line dancing.
Oh, that means I'll have to get out my cowboy
Get
boots.
your cowboy boots out, yes, and get ready. And dress is very casual. Wear your jeans, wear your boots, be comfortable.
Good.
We want you to have a good time.
And I want to tell you, and I want to just compliment you on the job that you and your staff does for the convention center and now the golf course also, with all the events there. And I know you're very humble, but we get reports all the time of how good the food is and the service, and it just really makes the convention center and the golf course now complete. When people come and they have a good time, they're treated right, and the food is good. It's, you know, it's really, you're to be commended, and keep it up, please.
Well, I will say thank you, and truthfully, it doesn't have anything to do with me. It is the staff and the great people that work with us.
How long have you been in food service, and how did you ever get started in food service? I've always wanted to ask you that.
I needed a job, and I started washing dishes.
And it just progressed from there.
Let's just say close to 30 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
And we've been doing the food service at the convention center here in Gatlinburg. We're getting ready to start our 16th year.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful to have that consistency. It really is. You might not
And
think
we
so
enjoy
at
it.
times.
No, we enjoy it. We enjoy it.
What's the most challenging part of that whole job?
To make sure that it's on time, the food is hot, and your customer's happy.
Wow. I have a hard time doing that at home.
And the crew that is with us, they never let me down.
That's awesome.
Never let me down.
Well, like I said, we get wonderful reports
Thank
and
you.
feedback. And as far as Appalachian Bear Rescue,
We're
I mean,
blessed to have him.
that is just, that's wonderful. And whenever you get, like people working together for like the same idea and the same end is always fun to watch. And I hope you guys just have a wonderful night. And I know we're going to plan on being there.
Thank you.
Great.
And
Thank you.
Kevin will really help get the word out. And just good luck to you. Keep up the good work, both of you. That's
Thanks very
wonderful.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.